I recently went on a college audition for my master's degree, so I thought I would show you what I brought. I got this bag for free from Athleta. They did a partnership with a Pilates group here in the city. So I tried to arrive as early as possible. I like to get places early, but oftentimes in trying to leave early, I forget things. So then I'm frantically running around trying to like pick up things as I'm headed out to not also forget anything. It's also like a crinkly toy. He just got this one. It's his favorite thing ever. It's a little swath. I arrived at 9:38 in the morning and I was the last one to arrive out of 19 people. 8 minutes late. Definitely try to arrive like exactly on time. I ended up like liking my placement. There's no problem like with being last. I kind of enjoyed being last. It gave me a lot of time to go about my day. Then we went on a campus tour first off, and that ended up being like 40 minutes long before our dance call. They gave us a warm-up, which I really appreciated because warming up is very important and I don't like it whenever programs skip over that. And of course you're supposed to treat every part of an audition from the moment you walk in the door. You're treating everyone with respect, but they already started like evaluating us based on the warm-up. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna look at your backs now. I was like, oh dear God, how does my back look? Of course we learned the combination, which was a lot of fun. We ended up doing it 3 times through. Pas de bourrées will be the death of me. I can't explain why. It's the most simple step. So I dressed in a leotard underneath, had a shirt over my leotard that I thought that I could dance in and move in, just to kind of feel out what was everyone else going to wear. So I sort of based it off that, and it ended up being pretty laid back. I also wore actual ballet tights, and then over that I just wore like regular black leggings. They were an H&M brand, H&M Sports, and they're actually really good. I really enjoy moving in those. So I just ended up wearing the leotard and the black leggings. I brought all of my shoes. I have brought my tap shoes, one thing that my dance instructor taught me in college is to have like a bit of elastic band and then just like sew them together or like hot glue them, and then you can just wrap it around and then twist it over the heel, and then it kind of keeps it on. And from a stage setting it wouldn't be noticed, but because my shoes are just like loose, oh my gosh, I spent $78 before this audition on some new shoes because mine were falling apart. So I got the Hanami Capezio ballet slippers and then the Hanami jazz slippers, which we actually wore on the day for the audition, and I really enjoyed dancing in these. I really liked that they have this arch already built in, and so it just immediately makes your foot look so much better. I felt like I looked confident because my feet just automatically looked good. So these were about $45. I think these were about like $22. Of course, I brought my character shoes as well. I also brought, in regards to clothing, I also brought just a nice ballet skirt. This one is also Capezio, just in case they wanted us in that ballet attire and other people. Because in a standard, like a more professional ballet class, you are not supposed to wear it depends on where you're attending, but typically you don't want to wear like a ballet skirt, something like that. It messes with the lines. So it depends. So I would say like feel it out, and that's why like I brought mine just in case other people were covering up, just in case they wanted us to cover up. So I brought that, and I also brought a tennis ball to roll out if I had time, which I did not. I wish there was more time. Of course, we did the warm-up together, but we were being judged on that. So I wish there was a little bit of time to warm up and to prepare yourself before the actual audition. I had time to like go to the bathroom and get changed after the campus tour, and then we were in it. We had a Q&A, which was really fun, which brings me to like one of the things that I brought. Oh, there you go. It's so pretty. I've had this for years, and I just bought it like on a whim of like, I need this for like my professional notebook and for like my YouTube notebook. The people that they introduced, I tried to take notes of their names and kind of what they did because I have a horrible memory. In hindsight, I should have taken notes of the students' names who I was also auditioning with. I, of course, was the only grad student who was auditioning, but there was, of course, 18 other students coming in for undergrad. So that was kind of weird being like the old woman, the old maid. We paid for our own lunch that day, just on campus, and we had an audition workshop, which was a lot of fun. It was like just a master class with the dean of the program. It was a lot about, well, it was what he had them do was imagine what was the last line said to you before. So even if there was not a scene before your audition, or like in the context of the show, sometimes there is, but if not, what would somebody have said to you to spurn you into singing? What is what's making you, what's driving you to sing? So that was really interesting, especially I didn't get to do the workshop portion. I wanted to save my mental health capacity for my audition itself, and not on singing in front of other people that I didn't know. That's just me personally. I know what I'm capable of, and I know how hard I can get on myself, so I want to protect me and protect my voice as much as possible. It was really interesting having that before the audition though, because then I was able to sort of apply that and see what kind of a technique that they liked in their program and apply that to my audition later on. And it was just a helpful technique in and of itself. Then we had our auditions. Luckily, I ran into a high school friend, and we went and had coffee and some lovely conversations that were able to distract me from what was going on. My take on having coffee like the day of an audition, I felt like if I threw off my routine and it would affect my voice more or affect my body more. I'm used to having 1 to 2 cups of coffee, and so I went ahead and I just had a cup of coffee, and I probably had half a cup the morning because I just didn't have enough time to drink the rest of my coffee, like on the campus tour and driving up there. I mean, you will eventually, and I personally will also, like, learn your own body over time and kind of figure out what is best for you. So some people say don't do coffee, milk the like week, month before ever at all, or some people say just drink enough water to counteract it. I also think that I didn't get quite enough water that day, but más o menos, you know, it's in the past now. So I would have wanted to drink more water, especially in the week leading up, and on the day I just didn't get quite enough water as I would have wanted. I came back to do my audition. My voice instructor and I have been working a lot on establishing the technique that would follow me into the room that day, and just sort of relying on that and being prepared that things might change on the day. And so I ended up doing, let's see. So I did Thank You for the Music, and I had it all marked. So this was the first time like marking my music this way, or my voice instructor actually did it and helped me with it. So it was interesting seeing like how a pianist wants their music marked, and I feel like that's a tool now that I have and can take with me. And then I did Journey to the Past. So Thank You for the Music kind of went as expected, exactly how I've been rehearsing it for the past like couple of months. Journey to the Past, however, I ended up like belting it instead of doing the more mixy front palette placement that I had intended on doing, but I really enjoyed how it turned out, and I was surprised how quickly it was over, and I thought it was going, the whole day was very laid back, very professional, but also conversational, and so I was expecting there to be more interview questions, just sort of time spent after my audition. But again, I went last, so that's one thing about going last, is they want to be done. So I think that they were just kind of ready to finish up, and I don't blame them. I was too. They actually got to finish early, which is sweet, and for us too. So in my book, I also had prepared Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, and I also had Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. So just in case they didn't like these songs or wanted to hear me do something else, I had those just in case. But you never want to have anything in your book that you're not prepared to sing. And so be mindful of that. You don't want to just stuff your book full and sort of butcher your way through something. So you want to keep this as clean as possible. So after that, they gave us a tour of the theater that they have there, which was a gorgeous facility. They had like an Aerial Silks room in like one of their dance studios, and so it's fantastic, very exciting, and of course just being near a stage, being backstage, it's thrilling. I kind of wish that I was able to go on the tour beforehand. I feel like would have given a little bit of inspiration beforehand. So we also went, we got free dinner, we got pizza, and then we got to go see a free performance, and it was a lot of fun. They were doing Grease, and so it was really exciting to spend the whole day surrounded by theater people, even though they may be a little bit younger than me. I mean, that, of course, that doesn't make like the biggest difference, but there was one grad student there that I got to spend a lot of the day with, and that was really enjoyable to be around somebody at least closer to maybe life experience, not necessarily age. So I also packed some peanut butter and some lightly salted almonds just in case I got weak throughout the day. I brought a block charger. This one is from Anchor, and I really like it. It just seems like heavy duty. And then of course a charger with a wall charger attached, just in case I was able to use it. I ended up needing it by the end of the day. I had on my phone, I had some recordings of the tempos and like planking on the piano through my songs, and so that way I could get them in my ear, and I was playing them before I went into my audition. Oh, I also prepped, I always forget because this is a musical theater program that I'm going for, I also prepped Beatrice from Much Ado About Nothing Shakespeare, Act 3, Scene 1. It's a delightful little monologue that I really enjoy. I really love that character. I actually found out that there's a David Tennant and Catherine Tate version on YouTube right now, and I really want to make Trey watch it because he hasn't seen it before. And I love the why do I keep trying to say names? I love the Julia Roberts version with Kenneth Branagh. It's delightful. So I really want to see this version. It looks interesting. So I also brought, of course, my makeup bag and hairbrush. I ended up doing my hair in a little, like, just sort of a ballet bun with, like, a little twist in it to sort of make it look a little bit nicer and more put together. But also something that I could dance in, something that would hold up throughout the day. I knew that if I styled my hair, that it probably wouldn't hold up throughout the day. I also brought some lotion because I was wearing a dress and I knew that homegirl would need it. I also brought some essential oils with me. Something that I did, and I don't know, like, of course, if this was like a good idea or a bad idea. I don't know. It helped me on my day. So, well, just smell them. So I brought Stress Away in case I needed that. I brought Breathe Again, which is just something to help with anxiety and breathing. But one thing that I used, the only one that I used that day, was peppermint. And this is one that is the Vitality one, so it's one that you can consume. I put it on my nose, just right at the base, and that way every time that I breathed, it was reminding my lungs that they have a full capacity of air, versus getting into that shallow breathing that I often find that I fall into whenever I am feeling anxious. So that really helped me. The weather had just changed, so I felt a lot of phlegm by the time I went to sing, because we had been outside walking around, walking to the cafeteria and back, the campus tour. The dance call itself, I feel like it sort of loosened things up and sort of got my body rocking and rolling through here, and so I was very congested in my throat, like phlegmy. So I ingested like just a 2 drops at one point and then one a little bit later, and I felt like that helped kind of relax things in my throat and to kind of drop maybe some of the phlegm and things that had built up. Cool. Is that it? Are we done? Did I finish? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun that day, and we'll see what the results are. Either way, it was a successful audition day, which is just exactly what I needed. So be sure to like, comment about like recent auditions that you have been on. Be sure to subscribe and connect to me on my other social medias. It's the same name. So thank you so much for watching.